The one constant discussion point is the Gujarat model of development and what is the meaning that it has to different people. Debating this important and timely topic are our esteemed panelists Madhu Kishwar, Sidharth Bhatia, Hartosh Singh, Kingshuk and T M Veeraraghav. Madhu Purnima Kishwar is an Indian academic and writer, a senior fellow at the Center for Studies of Developing Societies, Delhi, and the director of the Indic Studies project based at CSDS, which aims to promote the study of religions and culture in the Indian civilization. In 2013, Madhu Kishwar wrote Modi Nama, Chronicles of Modi, in which she has been critical of the media for their false propaganda about Narendra Modi's role during Gujarat violence 2002 and its aftermath. Kingshuk, for the last 12 years, Mr. Kingshuk has been the editor of the Times of India in Ahmedabad and Hyderabad. Nag was awarded with the Prem Bhatia Award for 2002 for excellence in political reporting and analysis for the coverage of Gujarat incidents. He is presently engaged in conceptualizing a political and electoral system that may serve India better in what he calls the Second Republic. He serves on board of the School of Management of the University of Hyderabad, a central university, and is a member of Hyderabad chapter of the CEO's Club of India. In 2010, he was awarded the state-level Rajiv Gandhi Sadbhavna Award by the Orissa Rajiv Forum for Excellence in Journalism. He has recently written a biography of Narendra Modi titled The Namo Story, A Political Life. Sidharth Bhatia has been in the media for over last 3 decades, working as a journalist, television anchor, teacher, and commentator in India and abroad. He writes on politics, foreign affairs, and society and culture. He loves old Hindi and Hollywood films and the city of Mumbai, where he lives with his family. He is the author of 2 books, Cinema Modern, The Navketan Story, and Amar Akbar Anthony, Masala, Madness, and Manmohan Desai. Hartosh Singh, trained as an engineer at BITS Bilani and a mathematician at New York University before turning into journalism. He is co-author of A Certain Ambiguity, a mathematical novel which won the Association of American Publishers Award for the Best Professional Scholarly Book in Mathematics for 2007. He is the political editor of Open and has worked for the Indian Express, Tehelka, and Mail Today. His recent book is Waters Close Over US, A Journey Along Narmada. Moderating this discussion is Mr. T M Veeraraghav, who was the senior editor and prime time anchor with CNN IBM. He has been a TV journalist since 1999 and worked with NDTV 2000-2005, CNN IBN 2005 to 2013. Enjoy this conversation. Thank you.
Thank you. Can you hear us? Can you hear us? Yeah. It's got to be green. There's an old Rajnikant statement which says he comes late but comes with the latest. Our time for this panel has come late. I hope we'll come with the latest. And the lights are ensuring that we don't know how many people are sitting behind in the audience, but guys, we're going to talk about Narendra Bhai Modi. So I think that should be enough to get people in. And one of the requests that has come to me since last evening is that try and keep it as sober as possible. We don't want to make it like a television debate. With Narendra Modi, well, you can only try to be sober. Let's see what happens. Eventually, obviously, you know the panelists. How it's going to work is that each one's going to get 2 minutes to respond to that question that we've raised. And what we mean by that question is very simple. Is performance that is being spoken about when it comes to Narendra Modi, is it just an add-on or just a veil to reflect why the society actually identifies with him, which is his hard right politics? As in, Has he gotten over being the Hindutva poster boy in any sense of the word? And how we'd like to make it different from a normal discussion is try and understand why is it that people from down south to up north, and it's a matter of fact, have him in their political conscience. I'm not saying they support him or oppose him, but he is there. He's omnipresent in every political discussion that one has, whether inside or outside Gujarat. Now, why is that there? Is it because of performance, or is it because of the ideology that he represents that threw him up to become Chief Minister of Gujarat? I'm going to start with Kingshuk Nag, who's written books on Narendra Modi, spent time as resident editor of the Times of India in Ahmedabad, for his opening remarks to that question. Each panelist will get 2 minutes. I will remind them at the end of their 2 minutes, and then we will have a discussion, and then we will take questions from the audience. Kingshuk, go ahead.
India wants change, and India has been wanting change since 2008. And that is the reason whoever comes and portrays himself as the change gets a lot of weight. Anna Hazare was the first man who reflected himself as a change, but he fell down because people soon realized that he was not the change that they wanted. Now Narendra Modi is the change, he's the flavor of the season, and it is because people want change and they are very disturbed with the current scenario that they look towards him. But however, let's be quite sure, Narendra Modi is not Narendra Modi. He's the representative of the RSS who wants to set up a Hindu Rashtra in the country. He's the poster boy of the RSS. Narendra Modi's economic development has been good in Gujarat. The track record is good. But then Gujarat's track record in economic front has been good ever since the state was formed in 1960. And a lot of people who support him also support him outside of Gujarat because they feel that in the last 60 years the secularism has not really helped them, and people are looking for a change in idiom and philosophy. And a lot of people who support him, when you ask them, they say, oh, he's a great economic development performer. But the real reason is that they want Hindutva. There is some closet Hindutva there. In the Indian First Republic that India had from 1956 onwards, we had a secular democratic country. Some people feel that time has come for a change. And among the many changes they also want that this country should become less secular and more Hindu. And that is the reason why Modi is popular. A, because people want change, and B, is because some people feel that Hindutva is the change that they want. Have I taken 2 minutes?
You've got about 5 seconds left.
5 seconds are over now.
All right, 5 seconds are over. So your point is that you're on the side of the argument that it is not development that is the main agenda when it comes to him. Madhu, Kishwar, you want to respond to him?
I can't think of a more bizarre explanation. I can't think of somebody being so off the mark. Because anybody who has studied or looked closely at Gujarat would know. Firstly, it's become a fashion in India to simply hurl pejoratives at those you don't like. And calling somebody rightist, Hindutva, poster boy, it's just shorthand for saying we don't like you. It doesn't tell you anything. For me, even this left-right divide in India is one of the most nonsensical, simply because I haven't yet heard anybody, or not many people, who want to describe themselves as rightist. The left-right labeling monopoly rests exclusively with those who consider themselves left. And their way of dealing with opponents who challenge their politics is to say you're a rightist. Matter ends. You don't have to describe anything else. You don't have to prove any points thereafter. Having closely looked at Gujarat for the last 1 year, traveled extensively, talked to people in rural areas, in tribal areas, in Muslim villages, and I have concentrated mainly on the marginalized groups, the farmers, the tribals, the fishermen, the Muslims. I can say today with utmost confidence that if there is any politician in India who's taking Mahatma Gandhi's agenda of reaching to the last person, the Antodaya, the Sarvodaya. It is Narendra Modi. If any politician in India is proving to be a unifying force, depolarizing society, having talked to Muslims across various districts in Gujarat, one of the things that they thank him for and explain why the increasing number of Muslims are beginning to gravitate towards BJP, support Modi, is because they are saying that this is the first time in post-independence India that Gujarat has witnessed peace, a riot-free existence. This is the first time we are not afraid what will we wake up next day to, or when we go to work, whether we will come back alive. It was one of the most polarized states in India. There were riots after riots, and in Gujarat, every year there would be riots, everywhere, every year there would be violence, and curfew had become a daily feature of life. Last 12 years, Gujarat has not seen one day of curfew. And it's this fearless existence which has allowed enterprise to grow, and it is his taking bottom-up agenda of economic reforms, which very few politicians are in India are bothering about, which is why Gujarat growth is multifaceted. Small-scale industry, which is collapsing in most other parts of India, also growing at a phenomenal rate. Service sector also flourishing, so also the corporate sector. So all the four pillars of economy, but with much greater emphasis on agriculture, on a bottom-up agenda of economic development. And I think it's that model, riot-free existence, and depolarization of politics, which...
Madhu, I started off saying that I won't be television anchor and intervene, but then the ground rules are 2 minutes and it's now 3 minutes. So I'm just going to take that point across to Sidharth Bhatia. And the question I'm going to put along with you for would be, when it comes to Modi, can you hear me now? Yeah, when it comes to Modi, she is saying performance. Now, even if you're disputing statistics, is it that the critics of Narendra Modi will always see him only through a right-wing prism, and hence we cannot make an objective assessment of him? Is there a flaw even in the critics and the way we see him?
No, at this juncture, I think I should have my 2 minutes to
Go ahead.
answer your this. Just to answer your one specific question, right-wing and performance are always linked. So it's not as if, your right-wing economics, for example, you can be a perfectly good right-wing inclined administrator. And so right-wing, what are we talking about? Are we talking about socially?
We're talking about hard right.
No. So
we're talking about political...
Yeah, so our panel discussion has framed a question, which I think a very interesting question, and that is, and the answer that I would give in my 2 minutes is very simple. Yes, India is looking for change, but the messages he's beaming out, more than anybody else at the moment, are messages that are tapping out to a particular section of this India wanting change, what I call, and what others have called New India. This New India, if you want to apply labels, say the bourgeoisie to begin with, this operates in a particular environment. All public debates center around their aspirations, hopes, and needs. The media talks to them, talks about them. They are consumers of news. Media, you have seen, every speech has been covered live, so there is a force multiplier there in terms of reaching out to people. Nobody has ever received this level of live coverage. So when you say these messages are being received by a section which was waiting to receive these messages, they are saying we used to be 10% on the way to becoming a superpower, now we are 5%. Corruption has grown immensely. Infrastructure is not getting better. Then they get this message that, all this has happened in Gujarat. There is no corruption, growth is there, etc. So maybe this is the person. Secondly, they are also socially conservative, and they are getting a message that socially conservative brings with it several things. They think that there has been too much minority appeasement. This kind of propaganda in the last 30 years has really now got into a whole new generations. So they are saying, what is this nonsense about secularism? So that is the other message they are getting. So constant refrain on those messages has created this kind of echo chamber in which everyone thinks that they have finally found the answer. I would go one step further. They have finally found the Messiah.
They finally found the Messiah. Hartosh Singh Bal, you want to just give your final 2 minutes on that remark before we go into questions and arguing each other's point?
Sure. Let me start with the theme. The theme is to do with Gujarat's economic... Seems to be on. Can you hear me? Yeah. So let me start with Gujarat's economic development model. Let's leave the labels aside, hard right, hard left. And what I propose to you is that this constant juxtaposition of Modi moving beyond the violence of 2002 and carrying out a model of economic development that the rest of this country looks forward to is a false dichotomy. To me, the Gujarat economic development model is a continuation of the logic of 2002 by other means, and let me explain why that is. What was the 2002 riots? I won't use the words riots, they were massacres. If you look at the entire population of Gujarat, it was 50 million people, maybe 1,000 people died. But the massacres represented something, the insecurity and fear among a certain set of people. And if you look at the development of Gujarat subsequently, we must also focus on the people who've been left out. And let me give you a simple statistic, that urban poverty in Gujarat is far lower than urban poverty, the average urban Indian poverty. But urban poverty among Gujarati Muslims is higher than urban poverty across the country. And this is the fact of Gujarat's economic development. It is a continuation of the logic of 2002. And while we may applaud and appreciate what we like about Gujarat, let us not forget what it is directed against, what it leaves out, what it does to a certain segment of people, the fear it creates. And I'm not going to go into anecdotal evidence because I've traveled a lot, I've spoken to a lot of Muslims, and I only find an acceptance out of desperation, not out of tolerance of Narendra Modi.
When you say you find acceptance out of desperation, and I'm just going to ask you, a very straightforward question. When you travel into Ahmedabad or when you travel into any other Indian city, do you feel that the Muslims feel any different? Because I have lived in other cities as well where it is very difficult for a Muslim to find a home in a Hindu locality. So anywhere in India you go, we are a communally divided country. To make Gujarat a separate example, is it fair? Is it just the reality of the rest of India that is also existent in Gujarat? If not, why do you say it's more pronounced in Gujarat?
Is it addressed to me? Okay. Let me just take you to Maninagar, Narendra Modi's constituency. It has only one enclave of Muslim voters, Millat Nagar. In the years that Narendra Modi has represented that constituency, he has not visited that area once. You cannot find a similar example from anywhere else in the country of any politician with a parliamentary constituency. Millat Nagar has not seen developments, it has not seen roads, it has not seen taps. I've wandered around it several times. What you will find is that inevitably they've had to turn to local municipal councillors from the Congress and in a few cases from the BJP simply out of a desperation because they cannot be heard anywhere else.
All right. Kingshuk wants to add something to that, but I just want to ask one question along with that. Is it possible in an Indian context, we say it as journalists sometimes, and we've written a lot about it, to have one locality which is about 50 square meters developed or 50 square kilometers developed and the other one not developed? Is it possible that you can actually have such filters on communal lines in terms of which area is going to be developed and which is not?
Yeah. Before I answer that, first thing is that Narendra Modi is not Narendra Modi. Narendra Modi is only the poster boy of the RSS. And the RSS and BJP came to power in Gujarat since 1995. Ever since then, this ghetto culture in Ahmedabad has started. In the western part of Ahmedabad, which is the developed part, not a single Muslim can hire or rent or buy a house. This is the truth. And this is...
But that could be the truth of the society. Why blame just the politician for it?
Hang second, 1 second. This precedes Narendra Modi, and ever since the RSS and BJP came to power, this is what happened. That is exactly what I'm saying. We are making a big deal of Narendra Modi. He's not a big deal. He's only the poster boy of RSS, and RSS is now today challenging the idea of India that we have for the last 50 years, and they are trying to face, and this Narendra Modi is carrying forward that idea. So in this 2014 election, you will have the idea of India being challenged. Either you have a socialist democratic country or whether you have a Hindu majoritarian country. Now that is not possible for the simple reason that 15% of your population is minorities. So Narendra Modi's philosophy is, I carry with me 85%. What about the rest of the 15%? That's what I'm saying.
Is that the question that Modi has put forward in these elections? Madhu, Kishwar?
I can't think of worse lies, bigger lies, and absolute utter nonsense. For the simple reason, from day one, and I have translated now scores of Narendra Modi's speeches because I wanted to hear him firsthand. For 12 years, I heard these lies. And I believe you me, I think this country will need a truth commission to expose how systematic this industry of lies has been built by the Congress and the left. And the only thing, poster boy of BJP, poster boy of Hindutva, that's not saying anything. Tell me, do you want, if poster boy of BJP and Hindutva means riot-free Gujarat, I am for BJP then. If poster boy of BJP means that the economic indicators of even Muslims or tribals are such that they themselves are celebrating it. I have collected district-wise data, and this Maninagar constituency you're talking about, I've been to several, and my picture is different. I've published all this. They had made a similar cock and bull story about Juhapura. And please visit Manushi website.
And also about the fake encounter cases? And also about the fake encounter cases, did they make a cock and bull story of it?
Now, will you let me answer that properly, since you make so much of it? There have been hundreds of fake encounter cases in India through this decade, with UP, Bihar, Maharashtra, and Congress-ruled states, including Delhi, topping the list. Only 6 of them, many of them are of innocence. These 6, by all accounts, the IB report said that these were terrorists out on a mission of destruction. These were Pakistani terrorists. And yes, they got killed. Whether encounters were fake or not, I'm not sure. The courts will decide. However, the terrorists were genuine. They were not fake terrorists.
They were not
now, the Gujarat government had filed a petition in the Supreme Court, and a very legitimate one, last sentence, saying if fake encounters
I'm going to make you speak 5 more sentences on the same issue.
Yes,
can I just have a small injunction, and then you can speak on another 5 more sentences? I just want to ask you, why is it then that only Gujarat fake encounter cases have become such a major issue? Is it that the rest of the nation is like only out to vilify one man? Is that the truth?
Yes.
Why?
That is exactly the question. That's exactly the point I'm raising. And that is precisely why people went to the Supreme Court and said, those of you, since the government of India is so interested in exposing fake encounters, let all the cases that are with the National Human Rights Commission, and they are in hundreds, and Bihar and Maharashtra topping the list, Assam topping the list, Bombay topping the list, that these should be brought and similarly investigated. Do you know the affidavit filed by the government of India, what it says? No, we cannot open them because they will jeopardize national security. Now, they will jeopardize UPA government. They will jeopardize Congress government because it will become clear that this is very much more common happening. In Gujarat, there are just these 6. And as I said, they happen to be of known terrorists against whom there's good evidence. And yet, these are the only ones. Now, if these are the heroes of the secular brigade, heaven help India. If the Sohrabuddins are to be the heroes of the secular brigade, and Ishrat Jahans are to be the martyrs of secular brigade, we really are in deep trouble because they also delegitimize.
I think it's an important point that she's making. Before you start, Sidharth, I think we need to really reflect and answer whether the media, whether this civil society as it's called, which is secular in its views, has decided to impose its level of secularism on what Narendra Modi does or not.
Well,
he's won an election in Gujarat 3 times running.
No. Let's not get started on who can win an election and who can't. People in the past, in history, have shown winning election is a sign of popularity, but it's also a sign of public mood. And the public mood may be reflecting a particular thing. Now, let me just say one thing. Firstly, it is absolutely clear. No, firstly, let me say, because there
Can
was
I just have a small injunction to the point that you're making? You say public mood, and I've heard this argument for the last 10 years since I've reported from Gujarat. But the fact is that there is not one shred of constitutional evidence that you've been able to bring out to convict this man or even register a case against him. So, the election is the only test for whether he's right or wrong. If he is a criminal, it's a different thing. But he's not. Why do we see him in that prison?
But you are starting with the assumption that that is being denied in any way. It is not being denied. The public of Gujarat votes him in and votes him in heartily. So, but that reflects the public mood. That's my point. That is reflecting of what they think.
So why does the public have that mood? Is
because the public in Gujarat thinks what he has done and what he is doing is right. There is no question about it. But you have to see
in
the
terms of
package.
Why are Muslims increasingly voting and standing on BJP tickets? Hundreds of Muslims in Zilla Parishads, Nagar Palikas.
Not a single Muslim minister, not a single Muslim candidate, not a single Muslim MLA.
There is not a single Muslim.
I'm saying, why are you not looking at Salaya Nagar Palika, where 27, it's a 95% Muslim village, Muslim little township. Wait, all the 27 seats have been won by the BJP. 24 out of 27 are Muslims. And I can give you numerous other examples where Muslims are standing up on BJP ticket. And I don't understand if Muslims of Gujarat are endorsing and they are not expressing no confidence. Why is it that people sitting in Delhi and Bombay,
why are
they are the ones
opposing it,
campaigning?
Sidharth Bhatia?
How many Muslims from Gujarat come and speak on
Madhu,
TV?
let Sidharth
It's
answer
always
this.
on TV, you'll see people from Delhi, Bombay, and all these people not even living in Gujarat who have a story to tell.
And you also don't live in Gujarat.
But as I said, I've spent
I'm just
a
making
whole
a red herring there.
a whole year
So
traveling in Gujarat.
So please go ahead.
But the fact is 1984 was despicable.
Okay.
But that should mean that either you accept that 2002 was despicable or you say that was something that I do not want to talk about. And unfortunately, nobody from Mr. Modi's camp has got up and said what happened in 2002 was terribly regretful and it was a shame and blot on this country.
I think that's a very valid
As
point.
we will say about 1984, and I'm happy to say about 1984.
But having said that, it is true. What you're saying is true in the sense that there's not been an official or a full apology for it. Maybe that's what is defining him. I mean, the day he apologizes and moves forward, shows genuine remorse, it's different.
One, this great belief that there has been a mea culpa from 1984 is just plain and simple bullshit. It hasn't happened. And I am no defender of the Congress. But I would be the last person to argue that if since 1984, Delhi has been riot-free, that the Sikhs like the Congress, because in Punjab the Sikhs have voted for the Congress, they like the Congress. Only a person who has never spoken to a Sikh will say something like this. The Sikhs detest the Congress, yet they vote for the Congress. And that is what is happening in Gujarat. There is a good Hindi phrase that sums this up. Majburi ka naam Mahatma Gandhi. That majburi is what is making them vote for it. In the same way that the Sikhs may occasionally go for the Congress, but they detest the party, as do the Muslims in Gujarat and elsewhere in this country. And others, sensible people with some idea of India like me, detest Narendra Modi.
Yeah, Majburi ka naam Mahatma Gandhi. And Madhu, just before you start off, you started off saying that Modi is the only chief minister who's taken Gandhian values to the grassroots. Poor Shivraj Singh Chauhan, Nitish Kumar. I mean, you know, even the BJP, even Modi himself acknowledges Shivraj Singh Chauhan as an equal developer. And the Raghunath Ranjan report yesterday says Gujarat is not as high up. I mean, is it not unfair to say that he's the only man?
No, I said if someone I know is from his work, having seen what he's doing, what the economic model is about, seeing it from bottom up, I'm saying if anybody is taking Mahatma Gandhi's agenda seriously,
He's taking Sardar Patel.
He is. Wait,
He's not taking
I'm not saying others may not be doing it. I said he certainly is doing it. That there are other competitors, but luckily they're all from the BJP camp. Even Congress says that even RBI reports and whatever else shows that...
Congress doesn't have chief ministers. Let's not compare.
I'm saying, one second.
They don't have chief ministers.
The point that I'm making is
it's an unfair comparison.
The point that I'm making is this, that Gujarat is following what I call a bottom-up agenda of economic reforms and therefore generating genuine wealth bottom-up for both Hindus and Muslims.
If bottom-up agenda is the only thing...
No, I want to talk about 2002 now.
And we will get to 2002 after you answer this question. I also want to I'm saying 2002 is a reference point we'll all go to. I just want to ask one simple question. If bottom-up agenda was what Mr. Modi's biggest achievement is, then why build a Sardar Patel statue which is taller than Liberty? Why go to Kedarnath and promise the rebuilding of a temple when 10,000 people are dead there? Why go around to Trichy yesterday and ask the students of Trichy, there has been a terrorist attack in Jammu, should India be talking to Pakistan? Why make those statements at all? Why make anything? Why not come out and say that, look, Vajpayee did it?
I'll be answering these questions in my writing. I'm doing a book. There's a lot of answers at the website, but I want to talk about 2002. No, but I wanted, if I avoided talking about 2002, then you'd say I'm escaping.
Talk about that and this.
No, give me time. Give me
please.
time. All right.
We need extension.
Then give me time. I'll gladly talk about everything that you want me to talk about. Firstly, there's a big difference between 1984. I was in Delhi doing relief work from day one. The big difference between 1984 and 2002 is as follows. In 1984, not a single Hindu died. All the thousands who died were Sikhs. Not a single lathi charge, not a single bullet fired. For 3 days, there was total mayhem. It was a one-way massacre pogrom. In 2002, 900 odd people, yes, it's a terrible tragedy, and I don't want to go into it's less than what happened in Delhi, 3,000 people in Delhi, this was less, no. But out of this 900, 200 plus are Hindus. Many died in police firing. 60,000 plus arrests of Hindus and 10,000 Muslims, preventive detention. So, and this is the first riot that comes under, though, 1 second, let me finish. It comes under control in 2.5 days.
Which one, 2.5 days?
No, hang on. Then why did Vajpayee call it a blot on his government? If this was the truth, why did Vajpayee call it a blot on his government?
I'm saying...
why are we justifying his handling of the riots now? Why are we even getting there?
If you have to understand a riot, what you have to also understand is what were the actions taken to stop it? How many thousands were saved? These many hundred died, but how many thousands were saved also have to be taken in. And I've written all this.
I'm saying that there is a process of justice that is on. My request is not to get to 1984 or 2002
you
and stay in.
It.
No, it was raised and we've responded to it.
No,
2013. Let's try and understand more.
No, but I'm saying as far as apology is concerned, I prefer his statement which says, if I'm guilty, hang me. Apology is not an appropriate answer for a murder. And if I am guilty, please hang me. But let a court decide, not TV studios, not Sidharth, Bhatia, and certainly not the panel here.
Quick responses.
And I think that shows courage of conviction. And I much prefer it to Maafi Mangke, Sardar.
Point taken. Point taken. It's too... Who? Definitely not Narendra Modi. Why are you asking me that? If you don't think I am, then I'm not. Okay. Yeah, you want to come up and do the moderation? No, right? All right. Look, let's not get angry about it. Let's just go on with it. Kingshuk.
Yeah, 2002 riots. it was not controlled in 2.5 days. It took 3 months to control. And if Hindu died, Hindus also died. It was because there were some good police officers who were doing their duty. Narendra Modi did nothing to stop the riot. Let's be quite clear about it.
So if somebody stops, it's because they were good. If somebody doesn't stop, it's because
He did not
Narendra
stop
Modi.
it. We know it very well. We know it.
Yeah, all right. So you come up. Come up. Your questions are going to come up. Your question time's going to come up. If I was going to go
I'm
as
the
per...
straw person.
If we were going to go up as per this one... Yeah, we are moderating. Come and take the job. Please come up and take the mic. Come. Why are you standing behind there? Come up in front. Come up in front. No, let's not get angry with them. They have a point of view. Just relax.
Point of view is a disrupt.
Yeah, we will give you a chance. But just come up and ask your question. I'm saying don't get angry. Yeah, cool. None of us are angry. None of us vote here. None of us go and vote in the first place. So we have no right to be angry. So just relax. Go ahead, Kingshuk.
Now I have confused. Now what am I supposed to say?
Brilliant. See? Okay. You were supposed to say anything other than the 2002 and 1984 riots. That's what you were supposed to say. Anything other than that?
I told you that the idea of India is under challenge. Narendra Modi is leading a new Hindutva brigade. Now it is for India to decide whether they want a Hindutva government or whether they want a secular government. I am a voter. I only have one vote. All of you have one vote each. You have to decide yourself. Move on from where, man? Move on where? Try to understand what I'm saying.
And idea of India, each one of us will decide what is to be our idea of India.
I have one
you alone don't have monopoly.
I have one very small request here. And it's a very serious request. We are trying to have a discussion here. If you don't agree with a point of view, if you think that there is a point of view, I'm sure when the question hour comes, you can come and you can say that this discussion was nonsense. All right? You are entitled to your view, and if you, I would probably agree with you because I don't think there's any point discussing Narendra Modi beyond a point. All right? So may I just request the audience not to, not to speak so badly to the panelist. You can speak badly to the moderator, only to the moderator, because the moderator is moderate. That you'll have to figure out at the end of the discussion.
I think it's not fair for this level of intervention. You have made your point. Please let this continue.
Okay. So...
Can I just... Because, some comparisons have been made. And I will return to 84 and 2002. Let me just finish something. Because these are important issues. Often on both sides, these two riots have been invoked over and over again. These killings... Just a minute. Let me have my say. The simple fact is, even if I were to concede what Madhu Kishwar here is saying, that 1984 was worse, am I supposed to like what happened in 2002? Why is this comparison over and over brought into the picture? 84 was despicable, so is 2002. And this desire to counterpose one against the other is one of the worst things that is happening currently in the country. And using one to justify the other is excusing murder. And the same argument applies to the whole question of Ishrat Jahan and the encounters. Because the other encounters have not been written out about does not mean the cold-blooded murder of a 19-year-old, whatever her antecedents, becomes right. And that is exactly the point where you can catch somebody, you will catch them. Just because other people haven't been caught doesn't make this wrong.
Okay, Hartosh, I'm just going to shift the discussion to another point which is extremely important, and I want to take Madhu Kishwar's take on this. I just asked you a very specific question for which the answer went out. I just want to know that when a politician who's belonging to the RSS or, the style of Narendra Modi is functioning, I'm not saying it's right or wrong. If it's purely focused on development, then why are the add-ons there? Why is there so much rhetoric about his work? Why is there a need, I asked you specifically, to build a statue of Sardar Patel, which is twice the height of the Statue of Liberty? Why can't he just focus on development? Why can't the voter judge him only on that basis?
I will answer that, but since, your panelists keep throwing questions at me. And as somebody said, it's 4:1. Now, I do want for a minute.
I think that's an extremely unfair comment to make. I think it's an
because all of
extremely
you
unfair
are
comment to
raising-
make.
No, when I say that, what I mean, all of you have...
No, I have been on both sides.
अरे भाई मेरी सुन तो लो.
हाँ.
हम कह रहे हैं सवाल आपके, your framing itself was very loaded. It was a very prejudiced statement. The framing of this panel's theme. The point that I'm trying to make is simply this. I have a long history of human rights activism. And the first thing we need to do is to be non-partisan about it. What have we done in this case? In this case, in the case of Sohrabuddin and Ishrat Jahan, the attempt, and this top CBI officials have told me, the attempt is somehow to implicate this man in a false jhootha mootha jaisa marzi case, because all the officers who were involved in the anti-terrorism operations, anti-terrorist operations, are in jail without even a charge sheet. 6 years, top IPS officers. Why don't you bring them to trial? This is what the Congress is doing. Blackmailing them. The moment somebody like Singh starts chanting and starts telling stories in an attempt to implicate Modi or try to come somewhere near him, then they give him bail. All those officers who have not sung the song that Congress wants them to sing are still rotting in jail without a charge sheet. That's why it becomes malafide. Why don't you let these, where in the world do you IG level officers in jail without a charge sheet? If they are guilty, hang them. The fact is 12 years of demonization, 12 years of judicial scrutiny, you haven't been able to get even an FIR filed with a very hostile Supreme Court, with a judge like Aftab Alam, known corrupt, known partisan, yet you haven't been able to get him. And that is what makes it so Whoever is guilty, if Narendra Modi is guilty, he's saying hang him. And I'll say hang him. If Vanzara is guilty, hang him. But you don't even allow trials to come into place. You don't even file charge sheets, and all you do is legal terrorism, coercion. You blackmail these officers to say, now implicate so-and-so.
If development was really the reason why Narendra Modi is
Now,
what he is,
Sardar
as you
Patel
started arguing, why is this discussion revolving around 2002? I just want to know from all the panelists. Some say no, you said yes. But I want to know if that is development
but
is
Sardar
Narendra Modi.
Patel's statue is hardly Hindutva or anything bad. The man was a symbol of unity, unifying India. And he played a very crucial role. Why does it hurt
Isn't
you
it about
that
symbolism?
other than Nehru Gandhi statue और भी किसी का भी आ जाए, हर चीज़ है इंदिरा, so and so, Rajiv, so and so.
But Sardar Patel,
दो रोटी देते हैं तो बोलते हैं राजीव गांधी रोजगार योजना.
was opposed to the
बिजली का
RSS.
बल्ब लगाएंगे तो इंदिरा गांधी का बल्ब नाम
So
लगा
I'm
देंगे.
saying let Nehru Gandhi ke there could be statues of Shyama Prasad Mukherjee or Deendayal Upadhyay.
I urge you all to read. I urge you all to hear the speech on Sardar Patel. What is he doing?
Okay.
Two things.
Madhu, I think we've got to let the other
No,
panelists
but
speak
then you
as well.
ask me, you don't let me finish.
Ms. Madhu Kishwar. No, आप political speech तो नहीं दे रहे ना. Let others speak also.
you asked me a question,
You have
but then
said that Aftab Alam was a Supreme Court judge, was a corrupt man.
There are cases against him,
Is
and
he a corrupt
I'm
man that's because he's a Muslim?
Oh,
I am
come
asking
on.
you that question.
Oh, come on.
I think
Shame on you.
I think we should get this a little.
Sardar Patel ka, do you want an answer or not?
We're getting.
Should I be answering?
I don't think it's. Okay, I don't.
I
think,
haven't answered. I haven't even let me answer what the.
Yeah,
No,
you
but
said that.
but लोहे का एक गांव से एक किसान के घर का लोहे का टुकड़ा आएगा, उससे वो बनेगा. It is involving the whole country in a certain enterprise and an emotional symbol, and I see nothing wrong in that.
So, Sidharth, you want to respond to that? Why is everything about him? Why does it have to be questioned? Why can't we just see his development record?
No.
See what he's
questioned
done.
by whom?
And by all of us. By the entire media.
No, wait a minute.
Why don't we write critical
No.
pieces on Madhya Pradesh or Tamil Nadu's government?
No.
We'll only write it on Gujarat.
No, wait a minute. I am not here to represent the media, but I would say if at all these two things get linked over and over again, if these things get linked over and over again, development and this, which is the theme of this panel, remember one thing, they will always be linked. You will never be able to get rid of that. You may call it whatever, you may call it a stain, you may call it a memory, whatever it is, that will never go away. And I think some of us said in the beginning that those two things are basically quite closely connected. So it is not as if you can say, why do you bring this up, why do you bring that up, etc. They will always forever be linked.
Why have
in
you
the
forgotten
public.
Assam riots?
Okay, Madhu, 1 second.
Just 2012. Why is nobody talking about 4 lakh people got uprooted from their villages? 4 lakh.
No.
Nobody's talking about hanging Gogoi.
Because no one from Assam is standing for prime ministership.
Oh my God. What an answer. Now that's it. That tells you. That's the agenda. And Congress
There is no
doesn't
agenda.
want- that is
There
the
is a
agenda.
profile.
Well, Rajiv Gandhi stood.
I think if he's got an agenda, you've got an agenda, I've got an
Kamal
agenda.
Nath is
My
a
agenda-
central minister. He's indicted. He was implicated. None of you are bothered. And by the way, to be pro-Congress, you don't have to love them. Congress has made it very clear. We love you as long as you keep abusing BJP, keep attacking Modi, and that's enough. That's enough loyalty test. They know they have nothing that you can defend them for. So they're happy.
When somebody assumes a high profile, he has much more to answer for. That's a
He
fact.
didn't have high profile 5 years ago, 8 years ago. He was not prime ministerial candidate. You are hounding him. Why you
No.
hunting?
I'm not hounding anybody.
There are so many riots. मुजफ्फरपुर अभी हो रहा है. जाके मुलायम सिंह की जान खाइए. नहीं खा रहे आप.
I think that's
This comes back to the same argument I was making.
One
And
riot
I
to
mean,
justify
if there
another.
are people,
I'm not justifying 2002.
this comes back to the same old argument, and which is that, बाकी जगह भी लोग मर रहे हैं, तो why do you care
No.
about these murders? And that is no argument at all.
But that's not the argument I made.
Let me
Please
finish.
don't caricature.
I am not interrupting you.
No,
Let
but
me
I'm
have
saying
a-
you are caricaturing it again and again.
Your argument
I said
deserves to be
Supreme-
caricatured. Your
Supreme
argument
Court-
is
I think-
justifying
Calm down,
murder
calm
over
down,
and
guys.
over again.
No.
Guys, all
You
right.
are justifying murder over
I'm
and
not,
over
this
again.
is nonsense. I said Supreme
Yes,
Court.
Hang on, hang on.
Absolutely,
I'm
yes.
Hang
sorry,
on,
you
hang
can't
on.
get away with
Hang on
lies
here,
like
hang
this.
on here, hang
You
on.
have to have closure on this one statement.
So let
there
me
are
finish
cases
speaking.
going on. No, 1 second, please.
Don't raise
There
your
are
voice, so can
cases-
others. It
I'm
is not a
saying
question of raising
there
your
are
voice and shutting
cases
people
going-
up. This is what
You
the
know,
right
we've
wing
got-
has continually done
Please
across the
don't
country.
give
So
me
let
this.
me finish
Don't
my
give me
point
this.
and then you
Don't
say
give
what
me
you have
this.
to do.
Don't
Let
give
each
me
one-
this.
Can we
I'm
get
sorry.
Let
Can we
me
get
have
down?
my word, then you
Can
can
we
say
get
your
down?
word. I
Can
will
we
not
get
let
down?
you ride
Can we
over
get
me
down?
and speak what you want to say. I can raise
You
my voice.
can't
Okay.
caricature.
Absolutely.
You're caricaturing
You
me.
can
I will not
reply
allow
when
that.
I have finished. Let me finish what I have to
But
say.
you keep
Yeah,
just
yeah, go on, go on.
Let me finish what I have to say, and then you can take your
I
turn.
wish this was televised. It would have got us TRPs. All right? So that's what Modi or Rajnikant does. You discuss them, you get TRPs. People watch. Okay, go on.
It is very much, this whole debate is very much about the kind of country we want to see.
Oh, I thought you were standing up and walking out. Sorry. It's just water, guys. You still have your balance on. You don't need more than one Madhu Kishwar. Okay, go on. Okay, go. Go on, Hartosh. Sorry.
The part of the country I come from is near Amritsar. It's called the Majha region of Punjab. In 1983 and 84, there was a man named Bhindranwale, a charismatic, divisive figure who spoke exclusively of a Sikh state. The reason he didn't win out were that there were Sikhs, a huge number of Sikhs, including people like me, who stood against the very idea of what he represented. And we didn't do so in the hope that one day a Narendra Modi would run this country. And that is essentially what we are trying to prevent.
All right.
I want to-
all right.
no,
I've got
you
to
have
open up
allow
to the
me.
audience
No,
because
allow me to say one thing.
they will
please.
say it for you.
One thing, please.
This guy will say it
No,
for you. He's
no,
already
one
all
thing.
up. He's raring to go.
No, I have
You know,
to
you'll
make
get your balance, Madhu.
one
It's not
thing
1:4. It's
Just
400
one
is to 3.
sentence, one point.
Okay.
I have never said if 1984 was done by Congress, so what if BJP has done this? No, that's never been my standpoint. I'm saying these cases are going on in various courts. Congress has played very devious games, and yet they've not succeeded yet in
Okay.
12 years.
All right,
With
you made the
Supreme
point.
Court
I think you made the
monitoring.
point amply
Let the
clear.
courts decide.
All right, that Modi will come and ask them
not
for
this
votes.
panel or TV
Modi
channels
will come and ask them
decide.
that. Modi will come and ask
And
them
if
that
he's
for an
found
election
guilty,
campaign.
by all means hang him.
With or without Yediyurappa. Please, first question. First question, Should we go to the left or the right side? Sorry, I think it's a little mixed up here. The left has become right and the right has become left. All right, let's go for the first question from the audience. One from the left. It's better that we don't see. It's better that they don't see us as well. So, you know, we'll probably get saved. I'm sorry, I'm just trying to sober this down because there's no point getting angry over a political choice at the end of the day, but it's important to question and debate the man and what he does to society. So, who's going to ask the first question? Oh, you must have tweeted all your questions like you do for...
Can everybody hear?
Where,
I declare...
Not an opinion, just a question. Please. Sorry, I can't hear you.
Hello?
Yeah, question, not opinion.
Yeah, sure. Like, I am not for Modi or against Modi. I have to say this because in this country, any statement made political should be put into the bucket or for Modi or against Modi. That is what we are against today. That is not we are against today. This discussion always go emotional. This discussion,
you made your point.
built on perception, not on truth.
Let me get Sidharth let me get Sidharth and Kingshuk.
Okay. Where is the data in your discussion? That's all my question. Yeah. Let me say that. Like, these arguments went on, okay.
No, I suggest what? Don't get angry, but you should also put what you have to say in the bucket after you've said it. You know, we can't continue on with it for too long.
No.
So let's, everything has to be put into the bucket, accept it. So let's just respond. No, let the panelists respond.
Yeah.
His question is that why should we take things so seriously?
It should not be emotional. Where is the data in your panel?
About Modi?
Where was the data? That's all my question.
Well, some people do invoke that level of involvement and attachment. So maybe things get heated up. Though nowadays I notice that every subject seems to have people getting polarized because without that we can't seem to have a discussion. The middle ground is slowly disappearing. So it's this subject and several other subjects.
Hi. I just want to say at the outset, this looking like if they face the nation debate with Arnab Goswami hosting it. But my question is to Madhu Kishwar. That's fine. You've been initially a critic of Modi's government and then later became his a supporter. So from your tone these days, it looks like there's nothing wrong at all with what Modi has been doing all these years and that he's all 100% a good leader with nothing to be bad against. So I just want to understand from you, what do you think is wrong with Modi's government, if there's anything at all? Not just Modi's government, as a person, as a politician.
Firstly, I never wrote any tomes on Modi till I started studying Gujarat. And I started studying Gujarat minutely because I started sensing that we were being fed on lies. I looked at the SIT report, all the reports that have come out. And what I saw clearly was that we were being misled, misinformed, which is why it's only when I looked at the data carefully, went to Gujarat, studied court documents, studied much else that I began to take a stand. Now, it's not a case of being pro-Modi. I have no connection with BJP or Congress or any party. And it's not to do with that. It's to do with clearing all this muck. We've been fed muck for years. And as I said, really, if this regime leaves power, we will need a truth commission. You don't have to believe Madhu Kishwar, but I do hope this country will have a truth commission which will expose all the lies that we have been fed and for very, very sinister purposes.
It would also depend on who sets up that commission, on whether it's credible or not. But guys, I'm really sorry. The organizers say that we are completely out of time. When it comes to discuss Narendra Modi, we can't, I think what we should do is start a Twitter discussion with these three, which is already going on this one. I think one last question,
Hello?
and just one last question, quickly.
So, my question is to media. Your concern is around the polarization and, the amount of polarization right-left we saw here. how much is the contribution of media? Like you admitted it's a TRP exercise, like Rajnikant it sells. Even on Twitter, you guys are fighting like
I think you're
Read your
fantastic.
Twitters.
I think you're right about television. I think you're asking very specifically television. Poor three of them
No, all
are
media.
print journalists.
All media. All
They're-
media.
They're far more mature than the...
Blogs,
No.
tweets, social media, print,
Yes.
TV, everything. I
Okay,
want to know
quickly,
how
how
is
much
the
of Modi is a contribution of the media? Quick.
Polarization.
No, it wouldn't have happened. The media recognized that he sold and started covering this. So it's not as though they have created him, not at all. I mean, he was a credible leader, but they had definitely amplified him and given him that level of reach.
How much of the media is responsible for this polarization?
Modi, because of the riots of 2002, Modi came into the news. Therefore, we have to write about him. Ever.
कोई और
Back to the
राइट आपको
reference point.
दिखते नहीं
Hartosh,
कोई
how much
सुनते
is the
नहीं।
media to blame for
एक ही-
polarizing?
Look, this is a polarizing debate. If somebody asks the question, why do we take Modi seriously? If Modi is not to be taken seriously, if questions like this do not provoke anger, then what is left there to debate? Obviously, these questions will provoke anger. These are serious questions.
And it's important to have that questions raised in a public forum. Quick.
I think the role of the media during the last 10 years has been more disgraceful than during the emergency. And people are afraid, all these paid media fellows, all these people, their business houses will collapse because Modi doesn't patronize the media in the way that Congress does. And I think there's genuine concern and fear on that account.
In a final
बहुतों की
remark, guilty as charged. Yes, the media is largely responsible, but I'm just going to make one line.
Alas, nobody has tried to pay me, and I'm waiting for somebody to pay me.
I know. I think we would all have built major houses if we were all paid for being against or pro somebody. I don't think politicians take journalists very seriously. Anyway, I started off saying, let's hope where we come at the end of it all. I think we've stayed where we are. We've had a cacophonic debate on Narendra Modi, as we've always had all along. But I just want the audience to perhaps go back with a little more reflection on what is it about him and maybe form your own opinions on it. Hope the panelists have been able to reach through to you on both sides of the divide. Thanks very much. Now you have some... No, now you can go back for music. Forget voting.